This is the Under the Ring Report, a weekly pro wrestling podcast. Now, here are the masters of armchair booking, John the Flesh Wound and Cousin Tom.
All right, wrestling fans, back again with the Under the Ring Report. And Tom, this week I'm putting on a tribute to Johnny Carson, the Great Karnak hat on, because we're going to look into the future and talk about what we'd like to see the storylines go.
You know, just like a weatherman, you're always predicting the future.
Boom, boom.
And if I'm wrong, too bad.
Well, the first one's easy, and I know we've talked about it before, but I am seriously behind seeing John Cena and Finn Balor wrestle at WrestleMania. And if you take a look at how this has been building up, even over the last few weeks, you know, Finn gets eliminated by Cena at the Royal Rumble. He loses to Cena in a great match on Raw for a chance to be in the Elimination Chamber. And even before that, there'd been a little friction. And if you think about it, too, the Balor Club as a whole, when Gallows and Anderson were with Styles, you know, what are we going to do? Beat up John Cena? So they've got a lot of this history there. And this would be the perfect time for Cena to make Balor a legitimate top tier guy. I mean, I think he's like right there. He's got his hand on the last rung of the ladder, and I wonder if this would be the thing to help put him over the top.
Oh, absolutely. The thing I noticed at the Rumble is when Cena would perform, the crowd was just like, we don't care. We don't want to see you anymore. You know, 5-knuckle shuffle. No one cheered, and you would see Cena, you know, turn and talk to the audience, and it's like, is he becoming a heel, or is it just because he's annoyed that no one cares what he's doing? Yeah, I would love to see that happen at WrestleMania. I think it'd be a great match. They had a great match at Monday Night Raw.
Yeah.
But the one thing about it is Finn has to go over Cena. I can't do another Cena overcoming 5 finishers and then bury somebody again. It's got to be Finn going over.
Well, and I agree with you there, because it doesn't do any good to Cena, but it will really help Balor, who's going to be there for this company, to be one of their main guys if this happens. You know, then whoever wins the title, you can legitimately say, oh yeah, Finn has a real good chance of beating that guy and being the champion again.
Yeah, well, another thing I'd like to add is at WrestleMania, I want Finn to come out as Finn. I don't want the whole dichotomy of the Demon King is undefeated and Finn is not. I want Finn Balor to be the guy that goes over John Cena. I like the Demon King gimmick. I wish they would have just either stuck with it and used it all the time, or not done it at all.
But frankly, it sells toys to the kids, man.
Yeah, exactly. But you know, if he wanted to come out and be another wrestler that painted his face all the time, fine, I get it. It's cool, especially the way he did it. You know, kind of a nod to Venom. If you look back at his early days, he did a lot of different Marvel characters and things, which was awesome. But at WrestleMania, I don't want there to be a story about his gimmick is undefeated and he's not. I want Finn Balor going over John Cena, and I want the Balor Club to also be involved, but not so much to where they get the credit, you know, for beating Cena.
Yeah. What about taking a look at the women's title? And this is SmackDown and Raw titles. And I know we've got what's going to happen. Where would you like to see everything finally end up when we get to WrestleMania?
Okay. Right now at WrestleMania, we're looking at, well, they didn't let Asuka name who she's going to go after. This is what I would like to see, title for title at WrestleMania. I want to see the SmackDown champ versus the Raw champ. That is what I'd like to see. I know they got the brand split. I still think Bliss and Flair, which we've seen that match once, was an awesome match. I'm banking on Asuka having a belt by WrestleMania, but title for title. Asuka and Flair at WrestleMania. I would like to see that. Or even Asuka and Bliss. I don't even care.
Uh-huh.
But title versus title is what I want for my WrestleMania.
All right. So I'm going to say Asuka's going to take on Bliss. That's what I think. And then I think you're going to have Charlotte taking on Ronda Rousey. I think that's how it's going to be, because if you think about it, during the women's tournament they had a few months back, there was that confrontation between the horsewomen, the 4 horsewomen, and them. And I have a feeling that's all going to be played upon, and it makes good TV, and it makes a great storyline for national media outlets to talk about. If you get a Charlotte Flair, who's already a name, versus Ronda Rousey, who is a mega name, and I think people will eat that up at WrestleMania.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. That would be good to see. They just need to get Rousey down to NXT to work on her facial expressions. But basically, she's got one look.
Smile.
There's a smile, and there's a, I got to put on this cold stare. Yeah, that's about it. So.
I agree, and we already know where the SmackDown title is going. Whether we get the Nakamura and Styles, which I think we both agree is the most awesome thing that could happen.
Yeah, that's what we wanted.
Yep. But what about where they're going with the Raw title?
Well, we currently still have Brock with the Raw title.
Yep, and he'll probably keep it till WrestleMania. We know that.
And I know in the back of my mind, I know Roman Reigns, that's all you've heard is that Roman Reigns and Brock at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Why not have Roman Reigns, Brock, and Braun Strowman?
I like that idea.
Lord forbid Braun Strowman wins at WrestleMania. Can you imagine 70,000 people?
Could they handle that? Could they really handle that if he did that? And get these hands.
You might hear a pop louder than when the Hardys came back, and that was a loud.
That was a loud one, yeah.
Yeah.
But it makes sense, too, because this last year we talked about already how much chemistry that Reigns and Strowman have. And truthfully, they have a lot of unfinished business. They never really finished what they had going on. They're both probably going to be in the Elimination Chamber. So maybe somehow that gets them to WrestleMania together. I don't know.
Yeah, I'd love to see it. I mean, all three of those guys. I would love to see just Lesnar and Strowman again. I don't think they have the stamina to go 30 minutes together. They need a third party to give someone a spell to catch their breath. You know what I mean?
I hear you. Yeah.
So Reigns, I think, would be the perfect guy. Kane, I'm sure, will be kissing babies in her office at the time.
Yeah.
So
we won't see him.
You swap Kane out for Roman. You get a younger guy, he's more agile, less wear and tear on the body, and can probably take a few more licks than what Kane's able to do right now. And I think it'd be a heck of a show.
I would pay to see that. I think that'd be awesome. So the other thing, there's a few other stories out there. I kind of wonder where they're going to go. We've got the Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn this whole thing still going on with Shane McMahon. Are we going to get another Shane McMahon and Owens match at WrestleMania?
What if I dangle this carrot out?
Oh, no.
What if Shane wants a match with Kevin Owens? So they're still squabbling. And so Kevin says, it's a tag match. You pick a partner. And so he gets Sami. They work out their differences at Elimination Chamber or whatever they're going to do. So it's Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. And the music hits and Daniel Bryan walks down the ramp as Shane's partner.
Okay.
What would you think of that? I think it would definitely be, as the Miz like to say, must-see TV.
You know what, though? Here's the thing. I like where that's going, but if you're gonna bring Daniel Bryan back, I think it'd make more sense if he ended up wrestling Shane.
Well,
just because of the friction that's been going on.
That or my other option for a Daniel Bryan return. I'm really hopeful. I'm pulling out all the stops here. My other option is we haven't mentioned the IC title, and the Intercontinental title used to really be, you knew the guy that had the IC title was eventually in line to be your heavyweight champ.
Yeah.
That was just how it always was. It's not so much that way anymore. Miz has the IC title. Daniel Bryan comes out, and they pick up their heat that they had from talking smack. And last week when the Miz came out, he got right in Daniel Bryan's face. It was like there's a built-in story right there.
Oh, I know. And it's so wishful thinking because truthfully, I don't think he'll ever wrestle for the WWE again. No matter how much people want to see it, the only time we're going to see him is once his contract's up at the end of this year. And probably when he goes to Ring of Honor or something like that and wrestles. But I get you. I mean, this is the cool part about this. This is us just throwing stuff up against the wall and hoping what we'd like to see. And I get it. It would be awesome to see Daniel Bryan return. Could you see that arena if all of a sudden you started hearing that music, fight it, and just, yes, they would lose their shit if that happened.
Yeah, it would be huge. I mean, that place would erupt. You're in a dome, which I know they say the noise carries up, but that place can be deafening.
Yep.
just watching a football game in there. That place is deafening.
Yep. Do we also get the match that people have been talking about since he came back last year? Do we get to see Kurt Angle and Triple H?
Oh, boy, I tell you what, I know Triple H is going to be involved in something, but I really hope Kurt Angle is not in a ring. I hate to say that, but he looks, the Kurt Angle I remember was doing moonsaults and was athletic and can do all kinds of things. He looks like he's sitting on an invisible bar stool at all times. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but the man cannot stand up straight anymore, and I feel bad for him.
He's Woody from Toy Story.
Yeah, exactly. It's exactly. I'm just waiting for him to run down the ramp and his arms like flap to the side. And no, I know Triple H is going to have a match. At some point, what they do at every WrestleMania is they're like, "Well, we got all this talent. What are we going to do? Let's throw them in a big, pot and see what happens." Well, when the Hardys came back, that was what a 4-team.
Yes. Yeah. Ladder match.
Yeah. So. That way you got 4 groups in one match. The one year they had the dueling general managers of SmackDown and Raw, and you had almost like a mini Survivor Series. It's like, well, you guys don't have a storyline, so let's throw the 8 of you together and the 8 of you together.
And we do have the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle or Royal Rumble or whatever the hell it is that'll be coming up too. And I saw someone on Twitter make a good point. The WrestleMania with that, it'll only about 5 days after that when HBO's documentary premieres. So there may be a premium put on that since they'll be helping to hype it up.
The only thing I can't help but think about is you still have a Money in the Bank briefcase that has not been cashed in.
She tried.
Yeah. So you still have Carmella with her briefcase. All I keep thinking about is Baron Corbin, excuse me. And how he ticked people off, and they made him lose on a pay-per-view event.
Yep.
Like what? It wasn't even a month after he won the thing.
Yeah, he pissed off a lot of people.
Oh yeah, it's like, man, how much does that guy got to be kicking himself? Like I just threw away any opportunity I ever had of a push for at least a couple years before WrestleMania. What perfect time to cash in your briefcase that you've lugged around from airport to airport for a whole year. Not this guy.
Tag titles are tough to think what's going to happen with them because you're not sure, what's going to happen. I look at that, but The Miz, you're right. Who does The Miz go up against besides what you want?
Well, besides what I want, I would like to see a Walk with Elias come down the stage. I think he'd be a great...
That would not be a bad way to give him a push.
I mean, they don't really have anything, they've had him in some stuff, but there's no real feuds right now.
Not really.
At some point, we're going to get Bray and Broken Matt Hardy, I guess.
Yeah, I keep waiting to see when the payoff's coming on this, but I don't know. I
haven't seen anything yet.
Or are they waiting until Jeff Hardy's back, and does he become Brother Nero?
Well, and then I saw something on Twitter. EC3 is with NXT.
Yep.
And they're like, bring him back. He can be the first wrestler to be deleted in both organizations.
EC3, I knew you'd come.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I would like to see Elias and The Miz.
Well, and you've got there's so many stars that I think of. I mean, what do you do with a Randy Orton, a Jinder Mahal? Those guys are sitting there and they're prominent. But right now, their stories, you don't know what's going to happen with them.
What about, we mentioned Triple H.
Yes, we did.
He's going to be involved somewhere with who, who could potentially, step up for the Triple H showdown. And then you have that, people have thrown around The Undertaker and John Cena.
I really think the Taker's done. Did you watch the WWE 24 they did on the WrestleMania?
Not yet. I was going to, and I haven't had a chance.
You should, because they talked to the Undertaker, and I seriously think he's done. I really do. Just the whole vibe. And I know it was right after that match.
Right.
And I know people want the guy to keep wrestling, but truthfully to me, the Undertaker growing up was a out of this world kind of larger than life character. And I think in the last few years, as his body is broken down, he's starting to become kind of not the person I remember, and you're kind of like you feel sorry for him. So I would much rather the guy feel somewhat healthy and ride off into the sunset and have a good time. Every once in a while, show up, do the freaking eye roll back, put a hat on, rest in peace, whatever the hell makes you happy, and then go back in the back like Scott Hall and Michaels and all those guys. You know, I just think that there's a time you stop. I mean, I love you, Taker, but you stop and move out of the way and let some young buck come up and take over. So
yeah, his last match, it was obvious and evident that he was not 100%.
Mm-hmm.
He couldn't do what he used to do. I mean, he
admitted it too in the WWE 24. He admitted he was not in the same shape and even prepared for that match like he had been before.
Yeah, there was one spot I know that I remember vividly where it was supposed to be a reversal, and he couldn't. Reigns, he was supposed to help Reigns get him up.
I remember that. Yep.
And he didn't have the strength to help Reigns get him up, and Reigns had to I think he tried it twice, and finally, there was just some moves that were just like generic moves because Reigns couldn't really do, and he was just dead. That's 300 pounds of dead weight. You try lifting 300 pounds of dead weight.
Just ain't happening. That's it. After that, since we usually have 3 hours of pre and all the other garbage, I'm just trying to think of any champions. I mean, the U.S. champion, Bobby Roode, I'm not sure where that goes either, to tell you the truth. I think it's probably going to end up being Jinder Mahal. I would like to see. I know with the week that we're on right now, they're going into SmackDown against Rusev. Yes.
I would love for there to be a storyline, and they kind of go back and forth, and Rusev maybe get the payoff at WrestleMania. I think Rusev Day has caught on like wildfire.
Well, and that wouldn't be bad if you got to see those two go at each other at WrestleMania. I could get behind that. That'd be all right.
Yeah, and Jinder, I honestly don't really care.
Well, there you go. We'll also get at WrestleMania 2, we'll find out finally who the new Cruiserweight champion's going to be, because they've started the 16-man tournament. So we'll see who ends up being the champion.
I need to catch up on my 205 Live, apparently.
So anyway, looking past that, we're going to have a lot of guys involved here and there. Might be some call-ups or whatever. Is there anything out there left that you really, really want to see happen? And no, you're not going to get Kenny Omega.
Yeah, no, I'm not that delusional to think that I'll get Kenny Omega. Would I like to see Chris Jericho pop up somewhere? Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah.
I wouldn't put it past him because he's a free agent and can pretty well do what he wants.
That's true.
I wouldn't even mind, a couple NXT guys popping up and then, doing something and going back. Like Adam Cole was at the Royal Rumble.
Baby.
Yeah, baby. I forgot. I wouldn't mind seeing Johnny Gargano do something.
Yeah.
There's a couple guys there that I think could impress if they just got the chance. Then they might even show up in the Andre the Giant Rumble.
Yeah, because that is a chance to get a lot of guys out there. And like I said, I'm looking forward to that Battle Royal because I think they may go all out just because the documentary coming up. But other than that, I'm just going to kind of sit back, enjoy the road to WrestleMania. And then you know what? In about a month or two, we'll go back and kind of look at this show and laugh and see how terribly wrong we were. Or maybe you'll be so right.
On, baby. I'm spot on.
Yeah, whatever. If Daniel Bryan comes back, I don't know. I'll have to go buy you dinner or something.
Hey, I called the woken Matt Hardy. I'm clairvoyant.
You did, yes, you did call that. I remember. That's true. But the Daniel Bryan one, I'm gonna have a hard time seeing if that comes true. But anyway, let's all enjoy our road to WrestleMania. Tom, once again, it's been a pleasure. Thanks for joining me.
My pleasure. Anytime.
All right, folks. Join us next week for more of the Under the Ring Report.
Hello, this is the intelligent, sensational destroyer. You know what? When I'd wrestle that crusher, I would get Under the Ring Report.
Follow the Under the Ring Report on Twitter at UTRR Podcast. You can subscribe to the Under the Ring Report on iTunes, Google Play, and Stitcher, or visit undertheringreport.com. Thanks for listening to the Under the Ring Report.